Leading local today in our top story, tracking how hot it feels outside. Air temperature, dew point, heat index, all words that are thrown around by the KX Storm team during the heat of summer. Meteorologist Michael Gonzalez walks us through why you should care about dew points when it comes to how hot it actually feels.
As we enter the dog days of summer, you may occasionally hear us meteorologists talking about the heat index or dew points. But what exactly are those numbers and why should you care? I spoke with KX News Chief Meteorologist Kenny Miller about the importance of paying attention to both the temperature and the heat index.
People kind of have a misconception of, 85 degrees is 85 degrees, and no, the amount of moisture in the atmosphere really does play a role in exactly how hot it will feel and the impacts that it will feel like on your body.
So, heat index is a combination of the actual temperature, what any old thermometer would read, and the level of moisture in the air, which we quantify with the dew point temperature. When you combine those two values in a formula from the National Weather Service, you get the heat index, what the air feels like to you and me. I'll give a couple examples of this using an example air temperature of 90 degrees, pretty typical for summertime in North Dakota. On a very dry day where the dew point is below 40, say 35, the heat index indicates that it actually feels cooler than 90. Similarly, a dew point of 55, which is between dry and moist, produces a feels-like temperature just below 90. But when it starts getting muggy, a dew point of 65 is a good representation of this. It starts to feel slightly warmer outside than the thermometer says it is. And as it gets muggier from there, things get gross pretty quickly. A temperature of 90 can feel like 101 if it's humid enough. The moisture makes it harder for sweat to evaporate off your skin, which is how the body cools itself down. That's the difference between a dry heat and a humid heat, and why we often talk about dew points. It's why 90 can feel like anything from 85 to 105 if you're in the tropics. We've been fortunate as of late, but summer's not quite over. Stay cool out there in North Dakota. Reporting for KX News, I'm meteorologist Michael Gonzalez.
The heat and humidity will certainly be a factor tomorrow as temperatures climb well into the 90s across parts of our state.